Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ask a Muso. I'm doing this sort of vidcast podcast thing as sort of a way to connect with creators in Australia and abroad and just sort of check in on what everyone's doing through this COVID-19 nutso time and just sort of see how everyone's keeping busy, what they're doing, and a bit about them and their story regarding music and things like that. So today I'm joined by another Gaffney. I've got Archie on the other end. Say hello, Archie.
G'day, how you going?
So tell us a bit about yourself, mate.
I'm 17 years old. I play drum kit mainly, and I'm originally from New South Wales, but moved to Melbourne at a young old age. And yeah, that's basically about me.
Yeah, so as another fellow drummer, I know that when I first came around, it seems like a million years ago now, we were, I didn't actually know you played drums, until Monty actually told me later down the line. He's like, oh, yeah, didn't know my brother actually plays drums. And obviously that was music to my ears. And it's been very handy having a drum kit at the house whenever I've been around since. So how long have you been playing drums for?
I think it's like approaching 8 or 9 years now. I started in grade 3 in primary school and just sort of been there ever since. Keep doing it.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Yeah, I was grade 5, but it's about the same sort of time frame in primary school. Like, so did you do lessons at school or?
Yeah, so I've until last year I always did lessons at school. So in grade 3, just the external the external lessons and business that the school employed, the primary school, and then just kept doing the ones at school, the teacher at high school. And not until last year when I was doing Unit 3 and 4 music in Victoria is when I went external for one-on-one tutoring lessons. That's when my progression really took off.
Oh yeah, okay, awesome. So going into VCE or Victorian Certificate of Education for everyone who's not aware. So tell me a bit about that. So you did so it's broken into a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 scenario for predominantly year 11 and 12 respectively to get the correct amount of units. But so you did 3 and 4 last year?
Yeah, so in year 11 I did 3 and 4 music, which means I did 1 and 2 in year 10. Yep. So that means I got 1 year 12 subject out of the way last year and I could focus on other ones this year.
Okay, yeah. So what did you do in music last year? So you did I assume group performance? And yeah, so what track did you do? Like, what sort of stuff did you focus on for your list pieces and stuff?
So yeah, I chose group performance. You can either do solo or group. I did it with 2 other people getting assessed. So a girl on vocals and trumpet, and then a guy on guitar. We chose to do more like funky, jazzy kind of things. We had to do contrasting genres. We had to do a half an hour set. 3 and 4 music also consisted of tech sax and outcomes. Can't really remember now, but outcomes and like progress reports. So you'd like play for the teacher and she'd assess you and stuff. So tech sax where you'd find a hard piece of music sort of thing and that challenged you, and you'd have to write up exercises and create a program which helped you overcome that technical difficulty. The main examination was like the performance, which I said was a half an hour thing, and we did if I can remember, up here actually, we did Nakamura, Smooth, Master Blaster, Brooklyn.
You Sir Duke, is it?
And Nature Boy.
You didn't do Sir Duke? That was just a fun thing on the live stream the other day.
No, that was another song. So yeah, that was our set list. And yeah, I don't know. It's all about VC music. There's a lot of theory as well. It's not just all practical.
Yeah, no, I do remember. I remember doing that because I did the same as you. I did 3 and 4 in year 11, and yeah, it was.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I know that was a long time ago, but no, that was nuts. That was because like we were the last year where they had the program a certain way, then they changed the program the year after. So for all the people that did year 12 music in year 12 that year later, they had to do it the new way. So I was so lucky that I got in there before it sort of changed up. But I did group performance as well. But yeah, and we did. So how many list pieces did you have from that? How many were on the like VCE syllabus list that you had to pick from? Because we only did 2 syllabus songs that we had to do, and then we just did the rest choice. And we did jazz. We did all jazz standards and stuff like that.
I can't remember. There was still specific criteria, but 2 contrasting genres from the syllabus.
Yeah, see, I know that Master Blaster was on there because one of the other bands I did non-assessed drums. yeah, they did Master Blaster because that was one of the list songs as well. I think Brooklyn must have been one of the list songs as well.
No, it was Nature Boy, Master Blaster, and there was wait, what was it? Nakamura.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, fair enough.
So on Nakamura we did our own interpretation. So instead of being, it was very basic on the drum. So I just put my snare out in the front of the stage, got like my 18-inch crash, a crash sort of ride, and also on a cajon. So I had a kick pedal on the cajon, and then I had the snare drum with brushes, and then the crash ride. So I'd change, I'd have the brushes sort of smooth thing, and then accent on the cymbal, and then on the chorus I'd play the cajon as a sort of backbeat.
Oh, okay, that's actually pretty sweet. That's a good way of doing it. We did a little bit of that in regards to sort of like doing it our own way, like moon dance and things. We did Feeling Good, and we did those sort of things our own way. But that's actually a really cool way of doing it. I didn't know that. But so are you doing music at school now? Obviously, school's different at the moment.
I'm just sort of in the boring old bands at school. I mean, not boring, but like basic.
So just like school bands, you don't have any bands outside of that or with like friends or anything like that you're sort of...
No, too busy for that. I really missed the VCE band because they were like the best band I played with. Like last year when I did my 3-4. But this year I'm just in the senior stage, like jazz band and the symphonic band, the Wind Synth.
Oh, okay. So you're still doing music and stuff like that. Obviously, not quite at the moment, but yeah. So you're doing all that. So you said you started in grade 3, and Monty was telling me that you have always had a musical family, especially with like your mum and stuff. What sort of got you to do it, and why drums?
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I just wanted to do music because I've been surrounded by it. I know there was a kit. I've seen videos and stuff of like me and my Monty and brother and all that stuff having one of those toy drum kits, like the American Idol kits with like the crappy old toms and stuff. Maybe that inspired me, but I don't know. I just had this thing where I wanted a drum kit, and Mum never wanted one, so she got me an electric kit, like a really bad electric kit. And I loved it. So then that was probably in grade 2. And then the next year she's like, oh, I'll put you in lessons. And
yeah, no, that's fair. Cause like for me, I remember very vividly sitting on the couch at the end of grade 4, and Mum and Dad saying, hey, so we've got grade 4 guitar, which was done in school, is ending. Do you want to continue guitar lessons out of school, or do you want to do something else? And I was like, oh, drums. And that remains the single most pivotal decision I've ever made in my life, like, because it pretty much changed everything that I've done since then. But why drums necessarily, I'm not even necessarily sure. I think I just like whacking stuff, to be honest. It was just whacking stuff, and I don't know, I didn't know many people that did it. And I suppose the biggest thing for me, like, I don't know about from your perspective, but from mine, I was the only drummer pretty much in high school. There was some drummer that did competitions, things like that, and that was never really a social thing. And then I had someone who was under me in year, like the year below and stuff like that. And we worked and had fun and things like that. But it was more of like a mentor role through like our soul band and stuff like that. But I never really had anyone, and then I had my teachers and things that were obviously at a high level again. But I never really had anyone that was close, like that was either just a little bit better or quite a bit better, but someone that's attainable, like a achievable sort of level. I don't know about you. Like, do you have other people that you watch play? Like, it took me probably about 4 years before I heard someone good actually play my own drums, because I'd never really heard anyone play drums before.
Well, yeah, when I was in like year 7 and 8 or 9 in high school playing the drums, there was always those bigger kids in high school that you see and you're like, I want to be like them. And yeah, I remember those two guys, and they you got along really well, drum battles and stuff. But I always wanted to be as good as them, like technical and the skill. They're always doing these fast licks and rolls and all that stuff. And I know, yeah, so I always looked up to them. But it was really weird because when they left, and like a couple of years ago or last year, when like I was like the oldest, like most experienced sort of drummer at the school, it was really weird because I'm like, I have no one to look up to, like in person. Like you see people online, like Lionel Lewis, something like that. They're really good. But like, yeah, someone, attainable. So like no one to reach for. But it was really weird, and sort of have to sit back and maybe say, okay, maybe I am as good as I thought, as they were.
Yeah, maybe you've reached that level, and you just don't have anyone surrounding you right now. Like for me, I hadn't really found someone that was at your level until I knew you. Like pretty much, it's just sort of not really. I just never really been around anyone much, just because at school where you feel like you'd be around all those people, and then at uni I didn't really have it either. Like there were lots of people that could play, but they either weren't people that wanted to talk or they just were miles away, and it was not really that sort of level playing field sort of vibe. But no, that makes sense that you've had been lucky with that. So obviously it's a bit vivid behind you. What do you play? What do you play drum kit wise?
So I have a Sonar Extreme Force kit. It is I don't know, I think it's a 6-piece kit. So like 2 rack toms, 2 floor toms, and then kick and snare.
Electric blue, baby.
Yeah, like it's like purple, but in like stage light, it's like goes to blue. So it's like a pearlescent. It's really cool. So when I was doing the lead ups to the exam, we had like a lot of soirees and stuff, right? So we'd go in our school performance center, like on the stage, and like we'd have the full stage lights, and that's when I see my kit in the light, and I was like, looks so good. So for a while I had my 10-inch rack tom, and then 14, 16 floor tom, 18-inch crash, 10-inch splash, ride, hi-hat, and another 16-inch crash, if you got all that. And then recently I cleaned up my setup and I flipped it around so it's easier to play.
I noticed that.
Yeah, so I've gone back to just like a simple 2-tom thing, so 10 and 14. Yep. More jazzy kind of thing, I guess. But I don't know, because when I cleaned up, I realised if you got less, you make the most of what you got, and you're sort of more technical. So if you got a big kit, you're not going to use it.
No, and I noticed that with mine. Like I'm only running a 1-up, 1-down setup. I can't remember the last time I put my second tom on. Because it's just like a 1-up, 1-down setup just works. And in the scheme of things, when you write music and then you go to you write music on lots of toms and you got all these exercises, and then you rock up and there's like a floor tom and a rack tom that's not quite working on the house kit, and if you hit it too hard it'll fall off. It didn't matter how good your tight rolls were, you've only got really 1.5 to work with, so you can only work with 1.5. So there's no point having a zillion toms, because when you play gigs you've only got 1-up, 1-down normally anyway.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's sort of, I think, part of the reason why I got into it. I played a 2-up, 1-down setup for ages, but my best invention was the ride on a short boom stand in the top of the kick, and it just alleviates all the space issues of having a ride, like a ride in a dumb spot on the floor, trying to cut it in so it doesn't hit the kick drum and all that. It just sits in top nicely. So I've utilized that, and that's been like beneficial to me, so that I can have the 1-up, 1-down set up and put it in a smaller room or a smaller stage, a smaller space. So what sort of music? So when you're not playing, or what you are playing to, what sort of stuff do you listen to?
I listen to. I mean, I have a lot. I listen to anything really, right? But a lot of like funky, sometimes like gospel and jazz. Honestly, a bit of everything. I'm inspired by Monty, like Blink-182 or Green Day. A bit of punk rock or punk or whatever. If I'm feeling the mood, just listen to some sort of rap. Smooth jazz, fast jazz, literally anything. I'm not. I don't have a specific taste. I like a lot of music.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's fair. I get that vibe from you, just from stuff I've heard in the house and things like that, and the sort of stuff you and Monty play. So you're doing covers with Monty, which I chatted with him about. Putting together some stuff, doing Take 5, Year 3000, things like that. Getting some tracks out so you can collaborate with like other people and friends and people from school and stuff. So is there anything else you're doing musically? Are you like, other than just sort of plugging away and practicing to kill the boredom and stuff?
Well, I've actually not been playing drums as much. It's weird because so much drums last year. I'm not sick of the drums, but it's like I'm used to having the drums, so I've sort of expanded out. But because I've got my guitars in my room, so I'm playing a lot of guitar because I'm in my room watching Netflix. I'm like, finish the episode or the series or the movie, and I'm like, look at my guitar, just start playing guitar, right? Or play guitar, a bit of singing. But recently, like a couple of days ago on my birthday, my uncle dropped off his alto sax because I've always loved like the saxophone. So for the last few days, I've just been teaching myself the sax. It's pretty cool.
Shit, yeah.
That's what I've been doing because like every day until my lips get numb, I've been playing the sax.
So you've just been tooting away. So we got another Charlie Parker in the ranks. It's good because Monty and I need some horns on our tracks, and it's just really disappointing that we don't have anyone decent to hand. So to have you in house, that's very handy. That's actually really good for us. So thank you for that, for taking one for the team and learning a brass instrument for us. No, that's it. I'm actually keen to see that develop into something.
Also, I just want to add, right, because with the drums, I've always been sitting in jazz band, and I'm really bored because it's like jazz band, and like, I don't know, I practice my instrument, I love my drums, and I work on it at home, but everyone doesn't practice. They come here, we're stuck with bad tunes, right? So I'm just here playing a swing beat or a rock beat or some like, Latin groove. And I make the most of it, but I sit there and I wish I could solo like melodically.
Yeah, okay.
When I learnt the guitar, like, I'm not like horrible at guitar or bad, but I can't like really solo on the guitar. And I've tried to like I know the scales and stuff, but I can't really solo that well over it. So I'm hoping that with the sax, that's something I can solo over and get to the stage where I can feel it, because you can feel the drums, but like
no, that makes perfect sense. Like a percussive solo, if someone can produce something that's a 5-minute piece on, I don't know, saxophone or something, or a series of horns, I would watch that intently, eyes glued to the screen. And if I was to watch the live version of what's the song, Led Zeppelin, who am I thinking? I'm thinking of Rock and Roll, and watch him do that solo, I get bored halfway through. It's just like very creative. So we see some very creative stuff, and I like a solo break. I especially love a jazz solo break where it's just like burnt, and they just like hit the accents, and then you just got a drum fill around it. But yeah, a drum solo, so to speak, I feel like a tight groove, a well executed fill, and a series of good orchestrated parts works fine. Any more than that, it's a little bit boring. It's nice to have some tonal difference and instruments in that regard that can actually make a note. And I definitely agree. I don't have the access to it, but I definitely feel where you're coming from in that front. When you watch other people noodle around on something, and I'm just like, yeah, I know how to play chords and shit. I'm all over it. And that's what I like. I'm looking at my guitars next to me, and I'm thinking the exact same thing. I was like, yeah, I could vibe on any song someone gave me the chords for, but I can't improvise on that, please. I've sort of lost, bit out of my depth.
That's exactly true, yeah.
But whereas on the drums, if they say, oh look, it's like a 4/4 groove, it's an 8-bar swing in this section, watch for the stops, easy. But it's just not the same. It'd be nice to be able to do something with a melodic instrument.
You can't feel it the same,
No, and you can it's nice you had to bluff it a little bit, but like the biggest thing I've noticed at the moment is doing video clips and stuff. I've putting out a video clip with Total Radio Silence upcoming, and from the recording, which was like a couple of months ago, I can't remember exactly what the fills were that I did, like exactly what the fills were that I did in the song. So I'm recording this video clip, and I'm like, I have to relearn the song. Everyone else, they just keep strumming along. They play the same thing every time. Whereas me, I'm like, what exactly did I do? Because I don't want to look silly. So like, there's that element as well of, if you play it wrong, it looks stupid because everyone notices that it doesn't line up. It's the bluff factor is, there in some aspects and gone in others. But what are you doing other than music? Are you doing anything other than music?
Well, not at the moment, but like, besides Corona quarantine stuff, I'm in like the cadets, like the Air Force, Australian Air Force cadets. So I've been doing that since year 7. What's that? Coming up to 4 years. Cadet flight sergeant in that. Karate. I mean, I've been doing karate a bit less because of year 12 and it takes up so much time and stuff, but, I've been doing that since I think year 3 as well. Year 3 and 4 primary school, just like I started everything.
That's where people decide, or at least your parents decide, okay, this is actually, let's just straighten ourselves in the chairs. This is actually worth putting money towards now.
Footy, soccer, basketball, drums, guitar, go, try it all.
Yeah, if you just play 7 different sports and 4 different instruments, and we'll just figure out by grade 5 whether any of them are worthwhile. Literally, yeah. That's going to be me as a parent. I'm like, oh, can you kick a footy? Sweet. Can you kick a soccer ball? Sweet. Okay, so drums, guitar, or flute. All of them. Just literally me as a parent. No, that's fair. Yeah, so I bet you're busy.
I'm doing a lot at home. So like 3D printing a lot of stuff. I refinish the guitar. Finding things to do. I like to do a lot with my hands. So finding things to do with that. But otherwise a lot of games, a lot of recording and music.
So other than that, is there anything else you wanted to sort of add? Like anything you want to plug that you got happening, or you have socials or anything like that you want to tell everyone all about?
Not really. I'm sort of more low key on the internet. I don't really do much.
over advertise, like me.
Not really. I'm sure you'll promote Monty's songs or the covers, whatever we do.
Yeah, excited for those.
That's about it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for chatting with me, Arch. Yeah, it's been awesome to have you on, and excited for what you're up to in the future and things like that. And hopefully in the near future, I'm down there and we can hang out like we were meant to in March, and we'll have a good time.
No worries. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thanks for that, Archie. I'll talk to you later.
See you, mate.